It's time for the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Each week, Trading Stocks Made Easy demystifies stock trading and investing so you can profit big. And now, here's the host of Trading Stocks Made Easy, the wealthy investor, Tyrone Jackson.
Hey everybody, it's Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, and welcome back to another fabulous episode of Trading Stocks Made Easy. Now, you may have noticed there's been no podcast for the past 2 weeks or so. That's because I was at the big wealthy investor event in Maui, Hawaii at the Grand Wailea. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see all the posting that we had an absolute fabulous time. We start off with cover calls, volatility trading, and then we get into spreads and if the market is dropping, how much money institutions are earning, and I teach my students how to do the same. So there's no way that I could deliver a podcast from all the way in Maui. Believe me, we've tried, but the most important thing is I am back with you. Now, for those of you who are currently following the stock market, you know that we are in a high volatility period and not the kind of volatility that you like. Yes, some of your favorite stocks delivered excellent earnings for Q2, and then they all dropped $24 or so. So what do you do? Okay, first of all, why did those companies like Microsoft drop $24 or so? Well, as it turns out, the stock market doesn't just rise because stocks or trees don't grow to the sky, as they say. There are certain conditions that actually affect the performance of your particular stock. And right now, here in August 2024, it's as if the market and the Federal Reserve are having a tug of war. You see, we have an economy right now that is cooling down due in part to the Federal Reserve having raised interest rates. Stocks like low interest rate environments in order to thrive. The Fed raised interest rates because when we came out of COVID, inflation was running really high. So those of you who listen to the show on a regular basis, you know that the Federal Reserve kind of monitors the U.S. economy and its internal homeostasis, if you will. Their job is to keep the economy not too hot, not too cold, but just right. Well, we have high unemployment right now, which you need to slow down an economy like the U.S. economy. The stock market as a whole, Wall Street at large, really wants unemployment to be lowered and interest rates to be lowered as well. So what is happening, we're in a classic pullback. So for those of you who like to trade stocks in bull markets, in up markets, this is not really your ideal condition. So what do you do? Well, this is where you're going to have to buy back some of the cover calls that you sold and go out 3, 4, or 5 weeks to the strike price that represents a profit on those shares. So when that happens, you're not going to be trading quite as actively as you were before the pullback. Do you get it? All right. So when your favorite stock drops, particularly if it's a member of the Dow Jones Industrial Average, some people see that as a dip and they buy on the dip. Some people panic because their emotions take control of them and they don't know what to do. Some people who've been around for a while recognize there are a series of trades or patterns that you can put in place, but sometimes you just wait out a pullback. And that's what most of us are doing right now. Well, today, here in the studio is a very, very, very special guest who I think he's on appearance 36, 37, I don't know, since I started this whole thing. It is not only one of my great students, it's Andre Blake from New York who's joined us here in Los Angeles. Andre.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to the show for the umpteenth time.
Oh, thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm well. It's always a pleasure being here. I love California.
Yes, because you lived here for
Yes,
quite a
I
while.
did for a number of years.
Yes.
It's been good.
Now, we're doing very well at keeping it formal because
Yes.
I don't know how long I've known you, 30, 40 years, but at least we're being professional to start. Is that correct, sir?
Yes.
Okay. And you are actually, this is your first time here, at my brand new 5,200 square foot production facility in Burbank.
It is lovely. For those of you listening, if you get the opportunity to come out here, come visit Tyrone at the new studio. It's lovely.
Yeah. Some people call it like a miniature version of Warner Brothers. I've heard all kind of things on the streets that I dare not repeat.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Right. But you were a little affected when you got here. You didn't expect it to look as nice.
Well, it's not that I didn't expect it to look as nice. Tyrone, like I've said, I've known you we've known each other for a long time.
Long time.
And to see your growth as an entrepreneur, as a teacher, as a mentor, and all of those things, and having it culminate in this beautiful facility is really, really kind of special. So I applaud you, my friend.
Oh, go on, Andre. You don't have to say those nice things.
I
Is there
know.
anything else you want to say?
Oh, no, don't. Stop. Don't stop. Don't stop. Of course.
Okay, let's talk about you. Let's talk about stock trading.
Okay.
And for those of who've listened to the show on a regular basis, actually, when we're at the live events, people recognize you. And
Yes.
They go,
They're like, oh my gosh, you're Andre from
Yes,
the podcast.
from
I'm
the
like,
podcast.
Yeah, that's me.
Right. And then you sign an autograph or two and you just try to behave normal.
And I'm trying to go, no, I was on a TV show for a little while. You remember me from that?
Yeah. They're like, forget the TV show. You're Andre for the Wealthy Investor Podcast.
Exactly.
Okay, today we're talking about pullbacks. This is particularly meaningful and impactful to you because you live in part off your covered call premiums.
Yes, I do.
You have 2 children
Yes,
who
I
are
do.
really not children anymore. They're very grown-up people. And apparently, as you've told me many times, they eat a lot.
A lot.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't even know what number pullback this is for you, but how are you feeling about this one? And all I said before we went on the air, I was like, just be honest. Just be honest.
Can I use the term sucks?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
You're not liking this one.
I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not because, listen, let's face it, the market was doing really well. Some of my favorite stocks were ripping and running and soaring and all of those things. And you're writing covered calls and volatility trading and life is good. And you're like, oh, yeah, this is great. This is going to go on forever, especially coming off of that big pullback that we had post-COVID.
That's correct.
Which was painful for a lot of folks, myself included. So, you see your account value start rising again. You're like, yes, I'm back. And then something like this happens and you're like, no, I'm not. But for myself, sometimes, and we talked about this, sometimes you just have to sit down and wait. Sometimes you have to wait. You sell your long call, keep quiet, it's okay. They're gonna come back.
Yeah.
Because if you're trading Dow components that have a healthy dividend, that stock's only gonna fall but so much, because if that dividend yield increases, everybody's gonna run back and get it anyway. So, and at the end of the day, there's really nothing wrong with these companies. So that having the ability to have that kind of patience is something that you learn over time. During this pullback, I don't think I check my account as much as I do when you're ripping and running and you're in there in 7-day trades and 4-day trades But sometimes what I've learned over the years is sometimes you literally have to just sit on your hands, go explore other joys in your life, and know that it'll be back.
Joys in your life. That's really cute.
Now, you like
How'd
that?
you come up with
you,
that?
You like that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. You just started dating a woman named Joy. You guys are really getting along. It's great. So that's all really nice. And it's all very nicely stated.
But
Do you really feel that way? Do you really feel that calm, that rational?
yes and no.
Okay.
From a rational standpoint, when I sit down and I think to myself, Andre, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. I know it's going to be fine.
Right.
Because for all intents and purposes, I should still be around in the next 3, 4, 6 months. In the moment, there are words that I can't use here
Yes.
that run through my brain and want to fly, and often do fly out of my mouth. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Another $5?
I know.
Come on. Like, come on. So, and that'll happen on the tail end of buying back and rolling out. And now you've rolled out once. And it's like, really? I'm going to roll out again? Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
And you're not going to like it, but I don't have 500 million shares of whatever to move the market.
Yeah.
We're along for the ride. The big boys move the market. We are the what are those things on the bellies of sharks that with little the parasite that kind of hangs out and catches the crumbs. In the big scheme of things, we're crumb catchers.
Right.
Truth be told. But let's not get it twisted. You can be a crumb catcher and catch quite a few crumbs.
Oh, do very well for
and
yourself.
do very well for yourself.
Yeah.
So, I don't poo-poo on anything. All money's good money.
Yeah.
And especially earning it in this fashion through the market, passive money.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
You can't beat that.
Now, we're very close, and some days, it feels illegal.
Yes.
The amount of money that you can make off the stock, the leaps option, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
The spread.
The spreads, that's correct. Now, you manage your SEP retirement account.
Yes, sir.
You have a separate pension from another union. You have an account that you started, plus your cash account. Which do you worry about more when the market pulls back?
My cash account.
Okay, why?
Because that's the one that I'm in most.
Oh, okay.
That's the one that I'm trading most actively.
Yeah.
So that's, for lack of better words, the big one.
Yeah.
And, when the big one pulls back, you're like, hey, what are you doing?
Right.
Yeah. It's like, if you're playing football or something and somebody clips you at the knees, it's like, ow,
Right.
that hurts.
Right.
And sometimes you have to go and sit down on the trainer's table,
Yeah.
massage it, and not play for a little while. And that's what I kind of like in these pullbacks too. Sometimes you just got to sit down and not play for a little while. It's okay. You check in, of course, because it's going to turn.
Yeah.
Is it going to turn to the tune of the $40 that the stock might have lost? Not overnight,
Okay.
but over time,
Yeah.
it'll be back. It'll be back. And you just have to trust that.
AI stocks,
Yes,
they really took a hit.
took a beating.
You owned a few of them.
Yes, maybe a few too many.
We won't mention any particular stock by name because then people run out and buy it and don't have the experience. But what do you see for AI stocks? Do you think they will retrace the way that, let's say, a Microsoft, which technically is an AI stock because of who they're partnered with and all that. Do you think your favorite AI stock will retrace sooner and faster?
Boy, I sure hope so. You said something long time ago when you first started this endeavor, and you said to me, and you'd say this to people in class. One of these stocks that you pick will betray you.
Yes, and I stick 3 fingers up in the air, and I take 2 down.
Yes,
and the middle
you
finger is
leave
left.
that one up. Yes.
Right. Yes, one will betray you for sure every year.
Every year. And I see that pattern as holding true.
Okay.
And I really hope, I hope things change because the one that has betrayed me also has a healthy dividend.
Oh, I know which one that is. Yeah.
So I'm just like, this can't stay down here.
Correct.
No way.
Yeah.
Because that one also has very nice bedfellows, if you will.
Yes, it does.
So, again, that goes back to what I said earlier. Sometimes you just gotta wait.
Yeah. Now, for me, I've been trading for 25 years. Pullbacks don't bother me, especially if we've had a 48-hour pullback and then a retracement on the 3rd day.
Yeah.
I view that as algorithms just quickly selling off the stock. They say 80 to 90% stock trading is all algorithms now.
Sure.
So they trade on if-then formulas. If this happens, then we sell. If this happens, we sell more. And when I saw the pullback last week, I was like, algo's at work.
And also, too, like we've said before, the humans come back in and go, wait. Let's fix this.
That's right.
We'll fix this. Everybody relax.
Yes.
It may take us a couple weeks.
Correct.
But we're going to fix this because let's face it, if the stock falls $15 in 3 weeks, it's not going to retrace those same $15 in 3 weeks.
That is correct, too.
It's not.
Yeah.
So you have to understand that stocks have a tendency to fall faster than they retrace to where they were.
Absolutely.
So, there's a word in the English language that I'm not always a fan of, but I'm learning to become comfortable with, and it's called patience.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, I hate that word.
Yes.
I want it now. I want my gobstopper now.
That's right. And everything can't be fast money
No.
all the time.
No. So when it's fast, you enjoy it.
Yeah.
But you also have to prepare for it.
Yes.
You know, some folks will get buck wild and there'll be that one AI stock, if you will, that they want to jump in and go, I'm going to put half my account in this.
Yeah.
No, it's like, I got enough for 10 contracts. Why don't you try writing 5
Yeah.
and just relax?
Yes. It doesn't. So they say on Wall Street, there's only greed and fear. That's the only two emotions.
That's it.
I found out that some of my students over the last week have done some things where I go, you guys, they know better. They've been in the Wealthy Investor Program for over a decade. And they still
knowing better and doing better.
Yes.
If you're sitting there and you've been trading something and it's kind of bouncing around, but for the most part it's upward trending, and you turn around and you look and there's a $7 premium sitting there for a week and a half or 2 weeks, you're like, well, you know what? Hey, I could write 5 contracts of that.
But we're supposed to know better. Aren't we supposed to learn from history? Hold on. DRYS.
Okay, can we not?
But right, I mean, one of the things that's interesting
Right.
about trading is that you're supposed to have watched the same show over and over, that stock that has tremendous promise.
Yes.
They drive it up.
Yes.
The institutions do something we don't do as covered call writers, which is stop out. And we're supposed to realize that that causes losses when they're just hitting stop losses and we've got covered calls in place.
Right.
Aren't we supposed to be learning from that experience?
Yes, we are. But I believe the human condition is that when it's good and you're sitting down at the table and you're like, ooh, I want that dessert. Ooh, you know what? Let me have another one of those. Ooh, let me have another one of those. And you lose sight of the fact that, this thing is going up and that's going to stop. Okay, some of these stocks up 60% over the past 6 months. And guess what? They're going to take profits.
Yes, they are.
You know, you can't go broke taking a profit.
Correct.
A friend of mine told me that once.
Yes, he did, sir.
So, you got to trust that.
And I realize our discussion right now is a lot, not so much about how to generate residual income. It's the recognition that we are sometimes trading with institutions and we are sometimes trading against them. Because when you're trading 7 million shares of Microsoft,
come on,
and you enter the stock, that is going to influence the price.
It's going to move.
When you stop out,
it's going to move.
7 million shares of Microsoft, you are in effect forcing it down.
Right.
So the longer that you are in the market as a participant, you recognize these patterns.
Yes. I mean, we can't all be BlackRock and State Street.
That is correct.
Yeah. Sorry, wish I could.
We have to accept the fact that we don't have 340 million
shares. Right.
And when that dividend comes around, you're like, it's okay. I got the dividend coming next week.
But also, it's funny that you bring up the dividend because that's also why I don't panic. Because I'm saying, you know what? I'm going to get this dividend. I've still written my call. There's nothing wrong with this company. There's nothing wrong with this stock. Woosah, FEAR, forgetting everything's all right.
Okay.
Everything's all right.
Yeah.
You only lose when you sell. If you sell lower than you bought, well, that's a loss.
Right.
But if you wait, because part of this game, like we've said before, is the waiting game. Sometimes you just got to wait.
Yes. Okay. You are having some wonderful experiences in your life right now.
Yes, sir.
Not only in your love life. I'm sorry, I'm putting you on blast.
I'm like, why you put me on blast on the podcast?
But also in being reintroduced to your millionaire mindset, because you've tried to bring people into the market and do things for people in your family, and they're just like, no. When we come back, I want to talk about what that is like, because you're in year 14 of trading your money, right?
Wow. Has it been that long?
I think it's about year 14.
Yeah, because I came in and I left and then I came back.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you've seen a thing or two.
Oh,
as they say.
Oh, yeah.
When we come back from this break, I want to talk about where you are with your thinking and where you are with your millionaire mindset.
Fair enough.
Fair deal?
Fair enough.
Back with my good friend, Mr. Andre Blake, on the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. We'll be back in a moment.
Oh, yeah.
Want to increase your stock market trading profits? Then you need to start your monthly membership to WITradeschool.com right now. Don't understand how to write covered calls for monthly income? No problem. Simply review Tyrone's latest stock trades in our video library as many times as you need. WITradeschool.com is all about helping you get the financial education you need to earn money in the stock market and change your financial life. Tyrone Jackson, the wealthy investor, has helped his students earn thousands of dollars per month trading stocks online from home. These are people just like you. So what are you waiting for? Follow Tyrone Jackson's red-hot stock trades and investment strategies today. Don't wait. Start your monthly membership at WITradeschool.com right now.
You know, if you're going to be successful at anything in life, you've got to take the good with the bad, the good times with the bad times, and the bad times with the good times. That's really you're gaining experience. Andre Blake is here with us today. Did I mention that you're in my brand new 5,200 square foot facility in Burbank?
This is yours?
This is mine. Yeah.
Wow, T, well done.
Yeah, well, thank you, man. I'm just trying.
More than trying.
So you are constantly involved. You know, in the Wealthy Investor Program, in the live program, I've been calling it a secret society, right?
Yes.
Because people in the program have made themselves millionaires and all that. And it's easy to take for granted. You don't realize the rest of the world is not in on what we're in on.
No, they're not.
Okay. But you're constantly, as am I, introducing people to the market because of both the short and long-term benefits of wealth, residual income, dividends, and all that.
Yes.
But you've been challenged a lot lately by certain members of your family and people who you want to get involved in the market, and you notice a resistance. Now, you know what it's done for you.
Yes.
When you're 14 years into handling your own money and you're still meeting resistance from people who you care about and you want to see have the same level of prosperity, how do you reconcile that? What goes on inside?
Oh, my gosh. Okay. Someone once said, sometimes the people who are closest to you are the ones who are most apprehensive to change, especially around money. Folks are really funny about, excuse my French, funny about their money.
Yeah.
And that's okay. I'm like, listen, and I'll be honest, I'm talking about people who are close to me and my family, my mother, my sisters. It's like, listen, guys, you could be generating some really nice income for yourselves to maybe lighten your load. You have children. My parents are getting older. I'm very, very blessed. I have both my parents still with me at 87 and 89. What? So if I can help them enjoy this time and this season in their lives, then I want to do that. But they have to let me. And it's funny because I have a sister who's done really well for herself. And I'm like, listen, this chunk of money that you have come into could really support you for the rest of your life and make things like easier. It doesn't have to be a one-off. You know, to have 15 or 20 grand walking in the door every month is not a bad thing. And I'm not even talking about using your entire portfolio. You can do that with a portion of it. So why not? But people are stuck in their own. Often people get stuck and they are their own worst enemy. Like I said, people get funny about their money and you have to let them have that. So I can lead a horse to water, but if that horse don't want to drink, then they don't want to drink. If you want to stand there and get skinny and fall over and die, well, then you know what? That's on you. I'm going to go and pull some money out of this account off of some covered calls that I wrote, and I'm going to go have the steak. I'm going to go to Peter Luger's. I'm going to go to Avra. I'm going to go to wherever I want to go and enjoy these things because you can. And it doesn't have to be, the stock market doesn't have to be this big, scary place because it's not.
Yes. But does it show you that you've crossed over to another way of being? Because you come to a class every month and everybody around you is making money, right? And yet your friends and family and even people we know in common are resistant to it. Doesn't that upset you?
It doesn't upset me. It makes me sad. It just makes me sad because I'm like, whatever issue you might be having that you might share with me around your finances, if I'm offering you a way to lighten that load and you don't want to take it, well, then that's on you, you know?
But that's a nice thing to say. Is it really just that easy to go, that's on you?
Yes.
Okay, so let me switch it around. For me, I've got the custom suit on, the fancy watch. I'm living the lifestyle, so on and so forth. I just let people flow in and out naturally. There's some people I think would really take to it, but I'm just, as I always say, I'm just a vehicle in your life. You let me in, I'll show you where the money is, your life will change. It's not quite as personal as like your family and people who you really care about saying, I'm not going to do that. We're not pushing Amway. It's just it's just out of the money covered calls on Amazon or Microsoft.
Right.
And that's happening whether the stock goes up, goes down, or stays the same.
It's going to be there, yes.
Okay. So, you know, and they're down stocks.
You know what? I think, though, T, if people... I can tell them about the experience until I'm blue in the face. Okay. Until they're willing to make that leap for themselves, just as I did.
Yeah.
And write that call and have that money hit your account and take it out and go do something for yourself until you sprout the balls to go do that, then you're not going to have the experience and you're not going to know. And all I'm saying is just try it. You might like it. And if you do like it and you see a way how, oh my gosh, like this could really change my life. Even if you start at like, oh my gosh, I wrote a call first time ever and I made $500. Yeah. Then you turn around and you put yourself in a cycle and you get $500 a week. That's $2,000 a month. I don't know anybody who couldn't use an extra $2,000 a month.
Correct.
Passive?
Correct.
What about the taxes? Don't worry about that.
Okay.
What about, don't worry about, everybody's caught up in the what if. Well, what if the stock goes down? Yeah, what is it? What?
Right.
I'm not talking about trading some stock that's, ABC stock that's $4 a share and pays no dividend and
high risk.
Yeah, I'm not trying to trade any high risk stuff.
Right.
Stay with the Dow components. Stay with something that pays a nice healthy dividend with a company that's tried and true. You'll be all right. Trust me.
Right. So for the person who goes, you're Tyrone's friend, of course you're coming on the podcast and you're going to extol the virtues of the program.
I'm your friend?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Well, we'll see how many more compliments I get before we get out of here today. But yes, as of now, on the record, we're still good.
Right on. Thanks. Cool.
But what do you say to that person? And I get people doubting me, right?
Really?
Yeah, because I'm in the suit. I'm the salesman. I've got a wonderful program, and let's face it, I've got to sell it. I'm totally okay with that.
Okay.
Right? But it's a different situation for you because you're doing it more out of love and uplift and you're my close buddy and all of that. So it's easy for me to disconnect and go, hey, it's just not for you. But for you to disconnect, you still have to see those people at Thanksgiving, Christmas. You still have to hear them belly aching about, and my taxes. And you're like, you could have had $15,000 a month
to pay your taxes.
Correct. So your relationships are ongoing. Mine are developed.
Okay.
With people who come in. So how are you going to handle that this Christmas or Thanksgiving when you're back with your friends and family and they're still belly aching? Have you thought about that?
Yeah, it's called bite my tongue.
Okay.
Sometimes for me, you just got to you reach a place where you're like, you know what? I'm not even going to bring it up anymore.
Okay.
I'm just going to let it be.
Yes.
And sometimes you have to just let sleeping dogs lie.
Yes.
And, it's funny because those who know me know that I come from a family of educators. And everybody's smart and all these things and has done well in their respective careers. And that's great. I feel like that's really awesome. I'm grateful beyond words. But like you said, when you're trying to help people who you love and care about and they're resistant, sometimes I'll admit it hits me funny. And you're like, come on, really? So my dad, as you know, is all about it. The minister of education in the family and, wants to help everybody get on board. And sometimes he'll call me and say, we're going to tag team your sister. I'm like, it's all right, Pops. I know you want to do that, but you got to let her come to this on her own.
Okay.
I've shown her. I've invited her to bring a friend, because sometimes maybe they can't hear it from me because they're too close to me.
Correct.
And that's okay, too.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, fine. You don't want to hear it from me? Come to class.
Right.
Just come sit down one time.
Right. And tell all these people in this room at this Hilton hotel
that it don't work.
They're not making money. You go right out and you explain to each and every one of them that this is some kind of sophisticated scheme.
Like my friend who I bought that.
That was the funniest day. You know that. That guy was fighting internally. He was at war with it himself. I'm on stage and I look at him, smart, educated guy, and he's trying to figure out how this doesn't work.
Yeah. And the thing that I really like, and I'm going to give you some flowers right now. I brought my son, Austin, to class.
Yes, recently.
Yeah. Yes. And the other day, he had his best friend over, and we were talking. These are two young, attractive young men who are on top of their thing and hustling. And I heard my son say to his friend, yo, we got to get in the market, man. I went to this class with my dad, and it was awesome. It's for real. If I can help a couple of 20-year-old young men get their heads right around money and what's possible, then it's worth it.
Yes.
It's worth it. All those other conversations for all those no's, those two or three yeses, it's worth it.
Yeah. And this difference, you're like, my family, educated family, and they are educated. Everybody's got advanced degrees. And
it's crazy.
My family, not so much. And so my mother, who you know, has a vested interest in wealth building.
Yes.
Not for herself, in me. Because her whole thing is just like, if I could keep going on these cruises, and my son is paying for it.
That's Tyrone. He's my ATM machine.
I feel like we're living the good life.
Yes, that's my baby boo.
So I'm out at lunch with my mother in New York a couple of weeks ago, and she goes, so we have a problem. I was like, we have a problem? She goes, yes, the cruise that I want is all paid for. She goes, it's the airfare. I said, well, what's the problem? She goes, well, the problem is to fly first class to the cruise is $3,700. And I was like, well, who has that problem? She goes, well, we do. And I said, well, we're not going first class on the cruise. One of us is going first class, but not on the cruise. And she goes, okay, so the coach version is $1,200. And I said, well, when does that leave? She goes, in 3 weeks. So I gave her the envelope. I said, count it. And it was all there. Okay, right?
Did you know it was $1,200 before?
I knew it was.
That's how you had the envelope ready. Got it.
The envelope. So she counts it up. She goes, now here's the next problem. I was like, no. There is no other. Listen, we're in the Upper East Side having lunch. You have $1,200. I think the lunch is over. Mission accomplished.
No, she needs that other $1,200 for spending.
Yeah, she does need the other $1,200. And then there's the $1,200 after that for the brand new wardrobe and the whole thing.
Don't be cheap, Tyrone.
No, but this is what I have learned. Wealth is a responsibility.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just give it away to everybody because they ask, because some people will turn you into your ATM machine for them.
Yeah.
So when the richer you get, the more you have to get good at saying, no, I've done my part. I've contributed to your life. And the answer is no. If I said yes to everybody, Andre, right, I might not be the wealthy investor for very much longer.
No.
So there's certain things I've learned about success, prosperity, financial, and you have to go along with that.
Right.
So I guess, just sort of kind of buttoning it all up for you, it's let go.
Yes.
And people move at their own pace, and some people never move, and especially when it comes to money. For me, it's using the word no with enough frequency where I can then go and
no is a full sentence.
It is a full sentence. And it's real. And you have to be willing to live with people saying, you're cheap, you're stingy, you're this. Hey, that's okay. I get that.
Right.
Trading, even when you have the skill set, you still have to work at it. It's
yes.
not like I've arrived. I study my trades constantly to get better. And that's where I think we earn the life and the benefits that we have.
Yes.
And when you're studying, you're not suffering.
No.
You're just trying to up-level your game.
I agree with that completely.
So for that person listening who says, well, that's Tyrone's friend, Of course, things work out for him. You actually put in time and you study.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
But what do you say to them if they're still a little skeptical? What would you say to that person?
Don't knock it till you try it.
Okay.
You can be as skeptical as you want.
Yes.
But I know that on Monday or Wednesday or Friday or next week or whenever it is, there is going to be a time in the very near future where I'm going to sit down in front of my computer and make it rain.
You are going to make it rain, sir.
So, whether it's sneakers from my kids or food or, the big food truck from my kid's 18th birthday or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. If there's something in your life that you feel like you really want, a very good friend of mine once told me, sometimes you got to just try.
You do have to try.
Just try it.
You do have to try.
If I bring you to covered calls and you start making this money, if in 3 months you don't like what's happening, cool, I won't bring it up ever again.
Correct.
But I bet you dollars to donuts after that third time, you're going to be like, hey, can I have some more? Is there more?
That's correct.
Can I have some
Is
more?
there more? And the answer, of course, is yes. And on the drive in today, I was saying my youngest daughter has gone to school. She thinks it's all so easy, but she's gone to school in a stock market covered call scholarship.
Yes, that's beautiful.
So good for her.
Yes.
And I'm working on her mindset, which she totally buys into, of like, you're going to be rich too. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do it.
Yeah.
And I've been lucky, as you know, she's into it.
Yeah.
My other daughter, not so much.
Not so much. But that's okay.
That's correct.
She'll be back.
She'll be back when she does. And you know the story I told you the other day. Because sometimes you just have to let your youngest child discover the world. She now lives on her own. And she goes, Dad, I have my own apartment now. And she goes, it's crazy. You know this story, right? It's crazy out here. I said, well, why is it crazy? She goes, do you know you have to pay for electricity and utilities in your apartment?
Yeah.
And I was like, you got to be kidding me. And she goes, and you know what else is nuts? You have to pay for cable and internet.
Wow.
I was like, they make you pay for electric, cable, and internet? She goes, it's crazy what they're doing out here.
SAG doesn't cover
Like you have to pay, that's another bill? Oh. Wow. And I love that story because she has to learn on her own.
Yes.
But I love that she's just open to it all. Like maybe there's another way. And I say to her, you watch Dad become rich. Remember when we lived in the small house, we got the bigger house and we did the thing. And so I'm happy and grateful that I at least have one child who's tremendously receptive. Yes.
It's funny though, and I just wanted to say this because it just dawned on me. Once you start writing covered calls and volatility trading and leverage trading and so far as spreads goes and what have you, I think it has to become boring.
Yes. Because
on
then
some
it's
level, because
That's
then
correct.
it's predictable.
Yes.
Boring, whatever, it's just this thing that you do. And I think when that happens, I think the crossover is in there somewhere. You can get, because let's face it, you get comfortable doing something, but then, like we were discussing earlier, the market changes.
Yes, it does.
And all of a sudden you're like, ooh, wait a minute.
Yes.
I was too heavily weighted over here.
That is correct.
Maybe I should have tried a little bit more leverage over here. And so, like most things in life, there has to be balance.
Yes.
And once you're able to balance your account and a little volatility, some covered call, some bear call, then you're balanced.
Yes.
So then whatever might happen in the market, you know how to adjust. Like my father always says to me, he's like, man, you and Tyrone, you're nimble. You're nimble.
Yes, you have to be. You have to be.
And it keeps you nimble.
Yes, it does.
Having all of those tools in your toolbox and knowing when to utilize them is key. But you have to understand them first.
Yeah.
You have to understand implied volatility. You have to understand delta and how that affects your option when the market's up and down and what have you, and theta, of course. So once you understand that language and this environment, well, then the world is yours.
Yeah.
And you can make strides and have moments and, trade and have thousands of dollars come in when you need it.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
Because there are times when what's interesting about the pullback is you might need it, but the market's not in a position to give it to you.
Correct.
And again, it goes back to patience.
Yes.
It's all right. Everything's going to be all right.
Yeah.
It really is. So.
You in here preaching today. What is it? This is
Well,
like a sermon today. With Hey, listen, we're just about out of time. I cannot thank you enough
Oh, man, my pleasure.
for coming in and giving us an update during the good times and the bad times, because it's great for all of us to be like, and we love it, but this is a tough period. It will pass. And when I say tough, it's not, big deal. You don't get your $20,000, right? It's not, we're not in poverty or anything.
Right.
But I really wanted you to come in and be real and be honest in the middle of a pullback, which we've had 2 days of retracement, so this is not really going to last long.
Right.
You are welcome here anytime.
Thank you, sir.
And if you want to get something else off your chest and you want to preach a little bit, I believe you have my cell phone number. Is that correct?
Yeah, I know where you live.
You sure do.
I've been to all your domiciles. So, yeah, I've seen the progression. Yes.
Thank you, Andre Blake.
Oh, my pleasure.
Join me 24 hours at thewealthyinvestor.net. We have some really cool features coming up in the next 3 months. A lot of free stuff to give away and information and videos that I think are going to help you grow your millionaire mindset and, of course, your trading account. That'll do it for me, fresh from Maui. Tyrone Jackson, The Wealthy Investor. I'll see you soon.
You've been listening to the Trading Stocks Made Easy podcast. Be sure to rate and review our show on iTunes. While you're on iTunes, be sure to click the subscribe button and you'll automatically receive our next episode.